Randomly Selected is an opportunity for people to hear it and feel it. Have you ever been pulled away from something just on a whim, out of nowhere? Randomly Selected. Ever had some food that you really liked, but it was deemed terrible for you to eat? Randomly Selected. What we want to do with this show is kind of flip that. This is our opportunity to give you something that you need, where you get a chance to hear from the notables and the quotables, people who are famous and not so famous. It's a chance to listen to questions that people want to ask these people. Randomly Selected, powered by the Silver Room, hosted by me, Mario Smith. And by the way, please feel free to reach out to your friends and neighbors and tell them to subscribe. Hope you enjoy it. Peace. Hey, what's up? Welcome back to Randomly Selected, episode 5. Is this 5? Episode 5. I'm not talking to myself. We'll explain later. Episode 5 of Randomly Selected. This episode, my man Godfrey, the comedian, is on. You know who Godfrey is. He does one of the greatest Steve Harvey impressions on earth. He is a multifaceted comedian. He's an actor. He's been in movies. He's a writer. He does all this really cool stuff. But what you may not know, Godfrey's from Chicago. And we get to talk about all of his Chicago connections and upbringing today and how those things continue to make him one of the ambassadors of the city wherever he goes. I hope you enjoy this 5th episode of Randomly Selected. So we have started officially. That's Stefan. Stefan is our engineer producer who just cut his mic off or his camera off. But we're here, Randomly Selected, with my man Godfrey. So for the tens of people who listen to this podcast, let me give everybody my brief Godfrey bio. So I personally started as a poetry guy on complete accident. I got invited to Spices. It used to be a joint on Chicago and Franklin here in Chicago by our mutual friend Tina M. Howell. Tina goes, "You got to come down to Spices sometime." I go down there. I'm shaking like a leaf, scared to death. And then I did this poem about John Coltrane, and it went okay. I had on a suit or some shit, just scared, horrified. And then I met Omu Ra. I met Chris Chill. I met Maria McCrae, Kent Foreman. I met all these great people. And I met Godfrey. And Godfrey was known as, "That's Godfrey the comedian." I'm like, word. And that led to a very spectacular night where I was super proud. A few weeks later, I come down with this John Coltrane box set. I'm proud because I'm like, I have discovered gold. I mean, everybody knew who Coltrane was. This box set was like an impulse joint with all these alternate takes. Yeah. And I go, "Godfrey, look, man, I got Coltrane. I got a Coltrane box set." And Godfrey looks at me very Godfrey-like and went, "That's nice, man. You should be listening to Eric Dolphy, though." And kind of dropped the mic on me and walked off. And that is how the legend of Godfrey, for me, began.
Eric Dolphy.
Yeah, man. So first of all, for folks who don't know, Godfrey is not a true Chicagoan in the sense of born and raised, but born
in Nebraska, raised in Chicago.
Raised in Chicago, yeah.
I was like 1 when my parents left from Nigeria to Nebraska. My father was in school in Nebraska, and I was like 1 in Chicago. All I know is Chicago. I don't know Nebraska at all. So
dig it.
So I was raised in Chicago.
You've got a bit about your dad that I still hear in my head with all my Nigerian friends about him on the phone.
It's true.
And this is like an old bit, but it is still funny to me because it is true.
It's forever. It's a forever, because it's like, Nigerians are not going to stop being born. It's like, it's going to keep going. It's going to keep happening.
Right. He's a big influence on you. And I know your brother a little bit too. I know that you guys speak very highly of your family, particularly your dad. When it comes to like supporting what you do, right? And I mean, you've done it, man. You got albums, you got movies, you've been in commercials, you've been making white kids in malls get their shit together. You've done it all. You've done it all. What is your relationship like with your fam, and how do they feel about this path that you
well, I have to say, unfortunately, my parents have passed, which has been a while. It's been a while. But no, the influence is still there. I mean, when I was doing it, when I first started doing the comedy thing, they weren't really happy with it. There was, because I was at university at U of I Champaign.
That's right.
And studying psychology, the whole nine, Nigerian families, you got to be doctor, lawyer, same old immigrant shit. And when I decided to do that, they were like, what? Like doubtful. It was just normal. I knew that was going to happen. But once they saw me making some headway, it was up and down. Comedy is very difficult to make money in. But I mean, before social media, before Cash App and all other shit, we were doing it straight up bare bones. You got to go to open mics. Hopefully someone will tell you about another gig and word of mouth, Yeah. And man, they start seeing me get a little headway, and they were like, okay, it was all about sustaining yourself, having something to provide for yourself. How are you going to feed yourself? How are you going to pay your rent? You know what I mean? It was one of those things.
Yeah.
And especially when I started getting into commercials, I booked this McDonald's commercial in Chicago. And that was when it was like, oh shit, okay, you get money. Wow, you get this kind of money? Fuck. You know what I mean? So I was doing commercials in Chicago, acting a little bit. You know what I mean? Then I hit that original Gangsters film that I shot in Gary, Indiana. And it was just like, oh, I did another film with Keanu Reeves and Morgan Freeman, Chain Reaction. So I was getting things here and there. Little shit. And doing the comedy thing. And then you had All Jokes Aside that opened up. Spices, Cotton Club with Bernie Mac. And Bernie Mac was doing Spices also. So it was like a little circuit of especially black comedy. But then I was doing mainstream too, because I was doing the Funny Firm on Orleans, which is not that far from Spices. I was doing Funny Firm. Dejois had open mics and poetry. And then on the South Side, you had 50-Yard Line. You had different places. You had the Click. So there was comedy around the city. And then we would travel to colleges here and there. Yeah, so we were starting to make headway.
You were in a little clique with like Dion Cole and who else was Cole. It? You, Dion. There
was a guy named there's Cootie.
Yes.
And Cootie who has been pretty much Kanye West's videographer for over 20 years.
Super filmmaker, Mr. Cootie.
Yes, Cootie was started out as a comedian, and then he just started going behind the scenes doing Channel Zero, and so it was Cootie. It was Flame Monroe. Flame Monroe. There was I brought Corey Holcomb into Amateur Night. There was Damon Williams. There was Jay Deep. There's D. Ray Davis. There's there was Henry Spoon. There was Fernando's Johnson, Evan Lionel. There was James Hanna, rest in peace, James Hanna. There was, and then like cats that came into this, there was Joe Torre would come through, Ricky Harris, rest in peace. There was Mark Curry. There was, we would see D.L. Hughley. We would see Simply Marvelous. We would see T.K. Kirkland. We would see Steve Harvey would come through all the time. Cedric the Entertainer from St. Louis. So it was that Midwest connection, and that's what was going on. Del Givens, Del Givens. So it was one of those, that comedy community in Chicago that everybody was surviving, man, and getting shit. And then Bernie was one of the first, him and Kenny Howe, first ones to touch Def Jam. And that's when, we were like, oh, there's some light here. We can really get big with this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because it's like the Chicago comedian is a different kind. And I think that comes from observing the legacy of cats like Richard Pryor, although not a Chicagoan, and
Illinois.
And Peoria. And just that, it's like if you make the jump and the decision that that's what you're going to do, there's a legacy of cats, Dick Gregory, him. I mean, they used to perform in Chicago all the time.
And Dick Gregory went to Southern Illinois University.
Right.
When he wrote his book, Nigger, he Southern Illinois University. Then you got Red Fox from St. Louis.
Right.
That's that Midwest thing,
Yeah. You gotta make sure that you do that properly, or otherwise cats will end your day. Yes. Speaking of ending people's days, I want to make sure that everybody understands. For the uninitiated, I'm taking you back to This Is Your Life again. There is a moment where a person will roast another person.
Yes.
There are not many people who are as skilled as you in roasting people. I've listened to your podcast. And I've also witnessed this live, which you won't remember, but there was a night at Red Dog in the alley.
Oh, that's my spot too. That alley.
That alley gave us a chance to see Godfrey do probably the longest set he's ever done. It was a 45-minute roast of one human being.
Really?
That human being being Kung Fu Mitch. And I know you don't remember, and I'm not going to try to make you remember it, but just trust me, it was some of the best material we've ever heard that we quote quite often amongst me and Big Sid and Tina and people like that. We still talk about it often. It's been about 30 years, but it was great. It was solid because he deserved it. He had it coming. He was just talking too much. And you were like, hey, man, look at you. And it was over. It was like, look at you. And it was 45 straight. And then you're like, all right, I'm out, y'all. Peace. Have a good night, everybody.
I was tearing his ass up.
Yeah,
Kung Fu Mitch, huh?
Kung Fu Mitch.
That would seem like that would be me. Hanging out in an alley by a nightclub. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It was fun. It was always fun. And it was like when we saw you coming, it was like, oh shit, somebody's getting it tonight. Who's up? Whose turn?
Yeah, but it wasn't like I was the only one that was funny. Everybody had their own sense of humor. There were a lot of funny people. Like amongst us, everybody was like funny in their own way. You know, you're talking about Chicago.
Yeah,
black folk from Chicago, man.
Yeah, man.
I grew up on the north side. There's a lot of people came from the south and the west. You know what I'm saying? So everybody had skills of their own. You know, we always had skills. Like, I know you ain't talking.
Right. And it would be like, it was a chain reaction. I mean, I had a chance to hang out a little bit with Dion and with B. Cole and Cootie.
B. Cole, yeah.
And it wouldn't take much, you know, and I'm a poet at that time, like full-time poetry dude. Yeah. And it'd be like, oh, hey, all right, here's Mario. He's about to do some poetry. And I'd do it. And I'd kind of just like leave because I'm like, I don't know what they're going to say about me. Let me get the hell out of this room.
Leon Rogers.
Leon, you know, who I am. I'm glad to call a friend, Leon. Yeah.
Yes.
And I do want to ask about Bernie Mac because it's only fair, especially since we mentioned him. I had the opportunity to meet him one time, and he scared me because he acted like he knew who I was the second he saw me. He didn't know who I was. I'd never been to Milchoneers. I never did any of that stuff. Right. I never kicked it like that, right? I would do poetry and go to the crib. I lived out in the south suburbs at the time. It was me coming back and forth. And he was like, hey, brother, how you doing? Right on Wabash, right by, because he was getting his suits from Hodge.
Right.
And we were talking, and he acted like he knew who I was. Was that his whole deal, his persona with everybody? He just treated everybody?
Yeah, man. You know, he was just, you know, he was like a big old funny uncle, man. You know, like, hey, how you doing, boy? All right. What's your name? What's your name? All right. Exactly. Okay. Good. Nice to meet you. You know. That's the first time I was like, when I started doing comedy, I wanted to do more urban. I said, man, I'm doing mainstream. I started out in the mainstream, you know, because that's the only open mic I knew about. You know, I remember Ed DeBevick's on downtown, and I was there. I want to do an open mic. I was with my buddy because I started out as a comedy team first. It was me and a guy named Alex. So we did a comedy team thing first. You know, we started at Spices doing it there. We started at Dejois doing routines there. And then all jokes aside, George Wilborn saw us. And, you know, so I was in a team for about a year. And then I was like, when I went solo, you know, because it was Steve Harvey that actually influenced me to get rid of my partner. Because he was like, yeah, you need to, you know, Steve Harvey's like, man, cut his ass. That's what you need to do. Get rid of his ass, yo. I'm gonna tell you one thing. I remember he said, you know, how much you getting for this for the show? I said, we're getting about $100. And you tired of splitting that 100? Cut his ass. I was like, oh, all right. Steve ain't never changed. Steve's always been that, like, let me tell y'all something. He's always been that guy.
Yes, sir.
He just has a lot of money now. So lots of money. But he's always been that guy. But so
has he seen your impression of him?
Yeah, he saw the first one a couple months ago. Oh, he saw the first one. And then this last one, when I did the verses, did you see the verses?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, sir. We talked about that.
Shout out to Afion Crockett and Spice Adams, who's from Chicago.
Absolutely.
And so they were like, I said, you know, I got to do the Steve Harvey. They say, hell yeah, go. So I'm in Austin, Texas the other day on Sunday.
Right.
And I had to go to a Walmart, find a hat. I got a Sharpie. I did the mustache. bought some cheap ass glasses. Well, that shit was $60. That made me mad. But yeah, I'm in Walmart and I had a purple shirt to match Steve Harvey's suit. And oh my God. And I'll just it just hit. And it's DL Hughley posted it, Tyrese posted it, Shade Room posted it. I mean, everybody named Mama. No, you can't deny it. Everybody saw that shit. And everybody was like, yo, that I've been watching it over and over and over and over. And I loved it. I thought Steve Harvey did a great job because the Isley Brothers and Earth, Wind & Fire, they're not going to host that shit. They're going to be like, all right, what's our next song? Steve was perfect. His long ass stories, his long-winded ass. I said, this is perfect for spoof him. I love that he's long-winded. I said, you don't want him to be not long-winded.
Right. Because it's him. I mean, he earned this distinction to be.
Oh, he earned it. It was so perfect that he did it.
Yeah.
You know, and he made it, there was energy there. And then just him going 1975. I remember I had a Cadillac. See, that's the kind of song you played when, that's when you put the gas in your pocket after you done got your check, you done work, and then you put on the Isley Brothers, or you put on a Earth, Wind & Fire. That's when you felt good as a man. See, old school, you young knuckleheads don't believe, And I just thought,
that is gold. That is gold. When I
just keep talking, Steve. Keep talking.
After the verses is over, I'm like, word. It's a wrap because the White Sox were on, and that went all damn night because they were playing in California. I'm like, all right, word, and they lost that game, so I was hot.
Was it a tie game for a long time?
It was for a while. They were up and then they tied. And then
Sox got a squad, man. They got a squad.
They're gonna be good.
They're gonna be all right. Yeah,
they're gonna be good. You'll be back in town. They're gonna make you throw out the first pitch one of these games, I'm sure.
I'm waiting, boys, before my arm gets bad. Jesus, come on. I already got a bad shoulder.
I'm watching the verses. And then I kind of walk off, and then I get back on Instagram later, and Instagram is going wild. Because I don't know if you know this or not. That thing went viral quickly. It didn't take an hour before everybody was like hitting everybody else. Like, are you looking at this? Did you see his? Godfrey's doing an impression of Steve Harvey. It was spot on, man. It was spot on. I've seen you do a few of those. That one though, with the hat and the big cigar, whatever that was you had.
The cigar. They said, how the fuck did you? I go, well, I had a packet of root beer. I would love root beer. So I had a particular 6-pack and it was a cardboard and the inside was brown. Mm-hmm. And so I just ripped it and I balled it up and shaped it like a cigar and I taped it. And then I just had
congratulations to you.
And I'm glad because I was like, we acted really fast because I was at a day party in Texas somewhere. And I said, but I was watching the verses the whole time. I was like, I gotta see when, and it was long verses. It was long.
Mm-hmm. It was super long.
And I got to my hotel room and I just said, all right, ready, let's do it. And so, and then, man, we took advantage. It was good timing. And now Timberland and Swiss Beats, they wanted to be part of their thing. Now they're gonna like stamp it as an official thing they do after but it's Afion and Spice, they created it. I just did the Steve Harvey one and so I guess Steve Harvey might be part of the old school verses. I think he'll host that, so that's when I'll come in and do that.
That's dope.
Shout out, congrats to Spice and Afion for creating during the COVID that after after versus sketch. So now they're gonna probably get paid for the shit now, which is great.
That's also good.
That's dope. Yeah.
What has it been like for you during this pandemic as a comedian that really links with his audience and goes out a lot and travels and stuff? How have you been maintaining?
I've been traveling since October. I was able to film that second season of Tiffany Haddish's They Ready, which is on Netflix right now. I'm the first comedian on that. They Ready. We shot that in LA outside. We had to shoot it outside with people with masks on. So shout out to Tiffany and Wanda Sykes' company for making it happen in Long Beach, California. And we shot it at the theater that Richard Pryor did that live in concert with the red shirt and the black pants.
Wow.
We shot it outside that historical theater that Richard Pryor shot that concert in 1979.
Yes.
And so I did that. I gained over 250,000 followers during COVID. I did a whole year straight of lives during COVID from March 15th to March 15th. I probably did it longer than that because I'm on live pretty much every day for the past 2 years. So, but I've done that. I was able to, you make some income, with Cash Apping and Venmo, and because I was entertaining every night. Yeah. So I've been able to connect to people like Tyrese and Keith Murray and Rockwilder, beat a lot of hip hop people because they knew I was on all the time. And so also still doing my podcast, which is
awesome. It is, man. And look, it ain't kind of good. That podcast is fucking great. I love listening to you, man.
Thank you, man.
And the dudes you have in there are amazing. Everybody clicks so well. And it's, folks, look, if you got a sensitive, soft stomach, don't listen to it because Godfrey is not fucking with you. It's good. It's really, really good.
And and people, and I like my partner Andre, Korean. He's younger. I like his perspective. And people don't even understand, growing up on the north side of Chicago, man, I had Korean friends, Polish friends, Jewish friends, African American, of course, African. Yeah. We had everything on the north side of Uptown.
Yeah, man.
Uptown. It's the immigrant, Vietnamese. So, yeah, man, I like the perspective. They said, why you pick Andre? I said, he's just different perspective. He's younger. He's Asian. And and he's a funny comic. He's very funny. And so it doesn't matter. It's like, you're either going to listen to us or you're not, But my thing is, we're just there hanging out, talking and expressing ourselves. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. It's me sitting in a mic. You're doing yours. It's Mario sitting in a mic. It's everybody's it's what we're doing. This is just me talking. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but in Godfrey We Trust, I'm proud of it. It's twice a week, Tuesdays and Fridays at 9:30 when we start our time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. All right, you ready?
I know it. Go. Man, look. Hey, that's why I do this in the daytime, because if it's nighttime, Jack, I'm probably already.
I have to do it at night because just for what I got stuff to do in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
So nighttime is like I can knock that little, that shit out.
Yeah. When we spoke on the phone this past weekend, and I talked to you a little bit about Original Gangsters, and I'm gonna say it out loud. When you went off that roof, brother. Everybody that was watching that movie, that like your Spices crowd, all of us, we kind of were together. And the sentiment was, Godfrey's gone, dude. He in Hollywood now. He went off that roof. That's it. If you get injured, murdered or something in a movie, you usually get 16 more movies. Godfrey's gone.
I get 16, right?
But what was that like, man? You were in a movie with literally every Black living legend from the 70s.
Except for Jim Kelly, which I have
Except for Jim Kelly. That must have been something. Pam Grier, Fred Williamson,
Richard Roundtree,
Ron
Superfly O'Neill.
What was that like, man? And this was your first movie, yeah?
Yeah, it was fantastic. I was like, okay, Pam Grier, I see her every day. We talk and laugh. Damn. And then I'm like, there's Richard Roundtree and Fred Williamson smoking cigars. There's Jim Brown. There's what? And there was Scarface, Bushwick Bill, another actor. There was Forrester, Robert Forrester, famous actor who's from Chicago.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
There was Frank Pesci, Joe Pesci's brother. There was, Wings Hauser. There was just like, and Isabel Sanford. Are you kidding me? Rest in peace. Isabel Sanford, Wheezy from the Jeffersons. Yeah. I'm like, I'm hanging out with fucking legendary. She's so legendary as far as television and iconic. Iconic. The Jeffersons, which ran for 11 seasons.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're celebrating her birthday, which is August. I remember August. We celebrated her birthday. It was so good. It was awesome for my first show because when I got the part, Fred Williamson called me and told me I got the part. That was crazy.
I bet.
Yeah, Fred was like, "What's happening, Godfrey?" I remember you talking just like that. He's like, "Yeah, you got the part of Marcus, so you got to meet at." And I said, "Is this the hammer?" In the flesh. He said, "In the flesh." He said, "In the flesh." I was like, "He's stuck in 73, boy." He said, "In the flesh." I was like, "Okay." And then, so that was it, man. And from there, it was great. And I'm glad that I was part of Original Gangsters. And even Bishop Don Juan was in it.
Yes, he was. Oh man, trust me, it was a lot of hell no. He in it too. Hell no, she in it too.
Yeah.
Whoa, he's in it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And for you to be in the midst of that, that was
Yeah.
a very inspiring thing for a lot of us because it was like, okay, look, not it wasn't a if Godfrey could do it. It was just that
Right.
Godfrey did it. We can
Yeah.
do it. We can all do
man.
this. Yeah.
And we're still around,
Yeah, man.
it ebbs and flows. This business, and look at the shift with tech.
Yeah.
10 years ago, look at now. Social media changed the game. Even MySpace changed the game. Then this shit came, and the game is just changing. Anybody named Mama literally can be famous the next goddamn day. It's like
Right.
mamas can be famous. When they say everybody named Mama, their mamas are trying to be famous. Everybody named grandmamas, they grandpappies, everybody, you could do a twerk and get 800 million. The next minute you're on Ellen. And there's comedians that have been busting their ass, can't even get on Ellen to tell a joke, but you in a diaper, and you twerked with a diaper on, and now you're on Ellen. I mean, come on. That's how but that's how the game is now.
I mean, cut you. I just wonder, do you have any aspirations about doing a TV show?
Yeah, of course. I'm developing one. I've developed one with some writer friends of mine. Yeah, sure. But I want to do it to my taste. I want to do it with some integrity. And a lot of times when you try to use integrity, it takes longer.
Yes, sir. To who you telling? Shit, I know.
I'm glad I've taken good care of myself.
Yeah.
And I've developed stuff for my own over the COVID, which is great. I'm doing something right now called In Godfrey We Trust TV show, which is on Kevin Hart's network. It's on LOL network, but you have to go to Peacock, Zumo, or Pluto, those streaming platforms, to find LOL. LOL is on those platforms. Peacock, Zumo, which is XUMO, Zumo, and Pluto. And then you'll go to LOL, and then you'll see In Godfrey We Trust. So we have one pilot episode on there. We're waiting to do more, but right now, there's one pilot episode, and so far people are digging it. So we created that over the COVID.
Yeah.
We created that because we shot it in LA, created over the COVID. So yeah, man. So I got stuff that I want to do for myself. Yeah. And of course I still do the old general auditions, because you never know. Still do traditional tap dance. Come on, dance for us. Yeah. Sometimes I give them a soft shoe. I don't go too hard.
Oh, good. Thank you. Because
I'm like this.
Peace, everybody. It's Mario. I just want to step in real quick and talk to you a little bit about something that's very important to me, and it should be important to you, and that's our health. Specifically men. Fellas, your health is paramount. Go to Howard Brown Health and find out what the deal is. In the past couple of weeks in hip-hop, we lost 3 giants, Black Rob, DMX, and Shock G. It's not to say that their health wasn't important to them, because I'm sure it was, but us knowing where we're at and knowing where we stand with our health can ensure that we're here for a long, long time. HowardBrownHealth.org, or if you're in Chicago, call 773-388-1600. Howard Brown Health. Go check them out. With all that has gone on these past 13 months and all these things that you have, in essence, reported on, how do you deal with that? Because I know I have a hard time trying to reason my thoughts about George Floyd. In Chicago recently, we had a little 13-year-old boy. I don't know if you heard about this, that the Chicago police shot in the chest.
Yeah, I think I heard it, man.
I mean, it's like, how do you, because for me, it's hop on my bike, ride around, try to just not think about it or write it out or do shows or whatever. But how do you, with all these things happening and then you commenting on them, how do you deal with those?
It's through, I deal with it through the art form, man. I try to, I go, how am I going to talk about this? Because sometimes, the Black plight is always served the same kind of way, just hard and boom, fuck that. I try my best to, the different characters I do, like, hello, everyone, Godfrey. I try to do it through that, because a lot of times it's like a ventriloquist. A ventriloquist can say, suck my dick, but you'll think it's the puppet. Right. And it's really, I just said it, but they'll go, man, that puppet is dirty as hell. Like, I have my hand in the puppet's ass, and you literally just separated the fact, that's why ventriloquism is so amazing, because you're not moving your mouth. You go, suck my dick. Look at his hand, it's dirty. So I try to take it from the ventriloquist point of view. Well, if I do it in a character, they'll say, oh, that character is hilarious. And then with the character, you can sneak in stuff. Like I did one about Stacey Dash, about her black card will never be given back to her. That, but I was doing it in the accent. You know, I try to like Paul Mooney, when I imitate Paul Mooney, you know, I say, oh, you got your nigga wake up call. You got your nigga wake up call. You got your nigga. Stacey Dash got a nigga wake up call. Meghan Markle, you got your goddamn nigga wake up call. You know, but it's Paul Mooney. So right. They're not blaming me. Mm-hmm. They're not blaming me. Even though I should be able to just say, hey man, you know, white supremacy, blah, 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 blah. But you do it in a character, they don't really just blame you. They go, oh, the character, that's Paul Mooney saying that. Or that's that British guy saying that. Right. But it's really me saying it, but I try to express it, try to trick people. I don't know if it's such a trick, but I try to go through characters. Sometimes I just go straight off and say certain things. I say, oh, this needs to be said by me. Right. You know, but if I can do a character, you know, I can, you know, because there's stuff you can, and what's really sad is when a lot of times I spend time watching they got a lot of these interviews now. I don't know if you've seen it, where they have like the black, remember Tom Brown's journal, whatever?
Tony Brown's journal.
Tony Brown. So he has this other thing on, they just released these things from the 70s where it's like Amiri Baraka, it's all these like, this is conference of black minds from the past. And it's like, they're like an hour and some change. It's different people. It's Amiri Baraka, this politician, and they're all talking in like a nice little round circle thing. And it's, when you watch it, you go, wow, nothing's changed. Like it's like you can watch stuff from the 60s and the 50s. You can watch Fannie Lou Hamer. You can watch all these people, and it's exactly the same shit. Not a damn thing has moved. The only thing different is our cell phones.
Yeah, say that.
That's the only thing.
That's the only thing.
As far as a hatred of us, oh no. Same goddamn thing. Not an inch. Hasn't moved an inch. It's just that I think we maybe are getting smarter and getting better at them not moving at all. So we have to work around them being stubborn and not changing. So we got to find ways other than the Uncle Toms and the Aunt Jemimas that are selling us out. Other than that, a lot of black folks are getting smarter. Even Africans, like in South Africa, they're trying to make moves to get their lands back. And so there's something being done. I feel like, of course, it's not going to happen overnight, but I feel like black folks are moving a little better and a little smarter. That's what I think. Because the needle of hatred ain't moving. That ain't moving.
No, it's not.
That ain't moving.
No. I'm gonna tie this up real quick and just ask you. I know you're.
What time is it right now?
It's almost 15 minutes to the hour.
Okay, I got another 10.
Well, let's do 10 more then.
Yeah, let's go.
What's the one thing that you want to do that you haven't done in the comedy world?
Man, I would love to do. It's not really a lot. It's just more hour specials. I would like to Netflix or HBO. That would be nice, just to, because I got stuff I want to express in an hour special. I got themes I got material that I want to go, oh, I'd love to do that for an hour. I want to have that same liberty as the Chris Rocks and the Chappelles and go, oh, I want to do that. I want to do that and a single camera show would be fantastic. Me producing, creating with my crew, that and more films, especially action. That would be, oh man, are you kidding me? Woo!
No, I know you're a self-proclaimed karate man that make people bruise on the inside. I know you'd love to do that.
Yeah, that and dark comedies, just doing some dope indie films and just being in that space, not to sound corny, because that's what everybody uses now. Being in that space, you know, I would like to. I'm just changing the narrative. Everyone uses those two stupid words, but yeah, I would, and I just use it. But I'd like to be in that, just where I'm doing those, just constantly doing that kind of shit, and just really good, edgy, smart shit. That would be nice.
On one of your recent podcasts, you talked about Jerry Seinfeld and how he kind of schooled you on things and how you get your relationship with these legendary comedians and how they took you in and sort of just gave you like the lessons and stuff that you need, little nuggets that you needed to be able to pass on to these new comedians.
Yeah.
And it's not I'm not trying to say that you're the OG of the comedy business, because you and I are around the same age, and our birthdays are around the same time.
Nice.
Yours what, July 21st?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm July 19th.
Not off.
That's what I'm saying. That's why when you did the whole Eric Dolphy thing to me, I didn't trip out. I was like, I would have said that. Yes, that absolutely makes sense to me. Having that kind of relationship with these dudes, with your Steve Harveys and your Seinfelds and stuff, and watching their technique and watching their process, did that have a lot of influence on the way you do stuff and the way you kind of like? Because I know Seinfeld is notorious for writing all these bits down on paper and like saving them and filing them and going back to them. And
everybody I don't write verbatim. I have notes that I take and go, oh, that's funny, let me do that, let me do that subject, little shorthand. I do more bullet points. I'm a bullet point guy, and then I talk it out, stream of consciousness. For me, I go on stage, let's talk about these vaccines. What's the main shit? Boom, the black scene. I call it black scene, guys, because that's who they aiming for.
Right.
Black terror. And then I just do bullet point stuff. And that's how I fill in the blanks from there. You know what I mean? And fill in the blanks from there, from just talking it out, because that's my style. But as far as influencing, like Seinfeld's not even an influence, it's more Carlin, Paul Mooney, Pryor. Those are but Jim Carrey was an influence on me because of the physical.
Yeah.
Jim was such a masterful physical guy, and Martin Lawrence, Eddie Murphy, of course. Are you kidding me? Eddie Murphy just not only just charm, and he's so talented, he made it rock star. He made comedy like, I'm gonna be a rock star. So all those guys were the influencers, the edgy people, the people that pushed the envelope. You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
Makes sense. But they all have charm, if you think about it. Paul Moody's a charming dude. Like Richard Pryor's a charming dude. George Carlin is a charming dude. They're all charming. There's something about him, I like this motherfucker, know?
Yeah.
So.
And I guess my wrap up, if you want to call it that. You haven't been here in a while, living in Chicago at least.
Right. Since 97.
Yes, that's about right. That's in my mind's eye. That's when I think we stopped seeing you around Wicker Park and all that stuff.
Yeah.
What is it about this place, man? What is it about Chicago? And now that you've had a chance to look at it from the outside for a while now, what is it about this city?
I think it's the history of Chicago. It's the segregation. It's the strong Black community. People don't realize how strong the Chicago Black community is. It's like the South Side, West Side. It's like, and then, in college, that's when I was on the South Side a lot, because my girls I was dating were all from the South. They were all went to Whitney Young, Lynn Bloom, Ken Wood, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And, because when the North Side, when you were younger, they always made it look like the South Side was this damn shooting gallery,
Still
or the West. Yeah, and they only do the new, and there was stuff happening on the North Side too. Crime is crime. They act like when it gets nighttime, it's darker on the South Side. It's the same amount of night. Like the moon don't shine on the South or the West.
That's the truth.
It's like this. Don't go there. It's darker. Their night's a little darker. Really. They just stay on the North Side. It's not as dark. It's kind of gray. Kind of
a little overcast.
A little overcast dark. Over there. It's pitch black. You know what I'm saying? God. So I mean, but once I got to the South Side, my first girlfriend in college, I was like, what? I was like, there was like amazing Black neighborhoods, Pill Hill. I was like, what the? I had a friend who had my boy Steve Dudley. He lived in a mansion on Lothar in the South Side, in a mansion with elevators. His mom was a brain surgeon. Wow. And this is the South Side of Chicago. Like, I was like, we had gone to Freaknik. He had a drop top BMW. The guy's 18 years old.
Sweet.
And this was the Black side of Chicago. Yeah. There was the the middle class, the poor, and the rich. but they don't know that.
Right.
And you're learning about Jack and Jill and then the poetry scene. Chicago had a mixture of everything, but there was a chill to Chicago. There's that Midwest vibe where everything is kind of leveled off. See, New York was just Chicago on steroids. Mm-hmm. Imagine Chicago taking steroids every day.
I spent time in Park Slope and hung out in Manhattan. I know. I know.
And that was right for me because I was a night owl. I stayed up all the time in Chicago. You know, after Double Door would close, I'd be like, what else is there, man?
Yeah, man.
Oh,
yeah, man.
And so New York, I fit with the international scene in New York, being Nigerian. That worked. It was just like, but Chicago is that place where you go, yeah, man, that's why my attitude is the way it is. From Deion Coles to Little Rels to Hannibal, we're all like chill dude. Everyone's like, man, even when I shot Soul Plane, when I was in Soul Plane, Snoop Dogg, he just was like, when he found out I was from Chicago, he found out through Bishop Don Juan. Because Bishop Don Juan, when we were shooting Soul Plane, he had visited us on the set. And when he came on the set, he came up to me and he was like, man, I'm proud of you, baby. I'm proud. Man, you doing real good, man. You man, I remember, man, Cotton Club, baby. You know. Yeah. And Snoop saw us talking. And Snoop was like, oh, you know my man Don? I said, Snoop, I know Don before you.
Your word.
He goes, he's like, what you mean? I said, I'm from Chicago. He said, man, you from Chicago? Oh, hell no, nigga. I didn't know you from Chicago. Love Chicago, nigga. He's like, yeah, he's like, yeah, man, Bishop Don Juan saw me as an amateur.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so that just that our we have a good balance. Chicago people usually we're just balanced, man. There's just something that Midwest groundedness about us in Chicago.
It's a different aesthetic, yeah.
Yeah, man. You know, people are like in Chicago, people are like, we proud of you, but okay.
Right.
You still that dude. We know you, motherfucker. Like, so, you know what I mean? So you ain't coming to Chicago with glitter on your lips. You know what I mean?
No, you're not. Not if you want to come back to Chicago, you won't. No,
you sure won't.
You sure won't.
You shit. You know what I'm saying?
I am proud to say I know you. I am very proud to say I have seen you come up for real through the comedy world. And being able to like monitor your career and follow what you do, it gives me an unending sense of joy knowing you are from Chicago, Illinois, and that your people are still on your team, man. And
I love that. Thank you.
Know it, and embrace it. We are definitely Team Godfrey. It doesn't matter if it's you telling Botch to stop doing his doo-doo so loud or your podcast, whatever it is. We are Team Godfrey.
I appreciate it because everyone always knows because I held up Chicago for 10 years in New York. I was the only Chicago comedian. I remember going on stage. I will never forget this down in Brooklyn. I can't remember it was Delilah's. It was some ghetto ass club. And I had, when Jordan's was open, the store on LaSalle, I had, he had very rare t-shirts that you could only get from that store. And I had brought it to New York and we had been playing the Knicks. This was in the middle of that playoff.
Yes.
So everything was tense. Yeah. And I had a Michael Jordan t-shirt in the middle of Brooklyn. It said the greatest ever with a cyborg. And I got on stage. I'm like, man, fuck the Bulls. As soon as I got on there, it was like, man, fuck the Bulls. I go, yeah, but we're still going to beat your ass. Sorry about that, guys.
Sorry.
And I'm shitting my pants, but I still held my ground. I said, yeah, I'm from Chicago. And he's like, we don't give. I said, nigga, you act like I play in the game right now. Stop being so sensitive. She'll go talk to Jordan, motherfucker. Don't talk to me. I'm just wearing a t-shirt, bro. And that's when I established, everyone was like, Chicago, there's the Chicago guy. I go, you goddamn right.
Right.
Because Bernie Mac had held it down for Def Jam. Adele Givens had remember Adele Givens' famous line? Me give you a blowjob, that's like giving a whale a tic tac, motherfucker.
Right.
Bernie Mac, I ain't afraid of you. It was Chicago was holding it down. Kenny Howell, bam. Yeah. And so I had that Chicago people respected us, man. And then the Bulls were putting it to them.
Yes,
so it was like, damn, this Chicago dudes, man.
On a regular basis.
Yeah. So I always let people know Chicago first. I'm from Chicago, man. Like Chicago, originally Chicago. But I'm proud to be a New Yorker now. But I always go Chicago first, though. Period. Yeah.
I so appreciate you, man. And thanks for being on Randomly Selected. Unlike high budget shows, we don't have any parting gifts for you, unfortunately.
All right. Fuck y'all. Can I get some Harold's when I get back?
Yes, sir. Harold's on me. I got you. We may have to go down to Columbia College to get it because the Harold's on 53rd is not.
I haven't been to Columbia College in so long. Shit.
We'll make it happen. Don't worry. When you come back to town.
People thought I went to Columbia because I used to hang out and talk to some women.
You ain't the only one. They thought I went there. I was going to classes. I didn't go. I was not in.
I was just trying to wait on somebody. Like, oh, you do art? Okay. Picasso. I love Picasso.
Photographer, huh?
Word. I love Gordon Parks. Yeah, Gordon Parks. That's my man.
Hey, man. Thanks, Godfrey. I really appreciate this. You have
no doubt. We do it again, man. Do it again.
Yes, sir. Yes,
just gotta go to this dental appointment.
Make it happen.
All right, boy.
All right, man.
Peace, yo.
Thanks for listening to Randomly Selected, and thank you for checking out my man Godfrey. You can go on his IG and his Twitter and check out his podcast. His podcast is brilliant. You definitely got to check that out if you get a chance. And thank you again. Just full disclosure, man, it really means a lot to me when my friends who have done things come back and check on me who's trying to do something. I'm really glad we had a chance to talk to him. Coming up on Randomly Selected, you may want to write these down. This is big stuff. King Marie on the 15th. Wait a minute. Am I making an announcement? Randomly Selected is now twice a month, on the 1st and on the 15th. There's no secret intonation into that either. Don't get your mind out the ghetto. It's the 1st and the 15th for Randomly Selected. We got Godfrey and then King Marie, and we've got some really cool surprises coming up for June. So we hope that you will stay close and enjoy all of those things. Thank you very much for the producer who is here, my man Stefan, and for our ghost producer who is in another room who will not be named or mentioned again. Thank you. See you all soon. Peace.